Hello. Welcome back to Gothtober 2021. Night 13? We're almost halfway in, huh? And we're on the third game. So hopefully we'll be able to get all the games done. Oh, I need to turn on the light. But yeah, tonight we'll be playing The Letter. It's an okay game. It's a horror visual novel game with some QTE in there. I've only encountered one so far. The problem with the game is like there's no break. It just keeps going and going and going and going. They need a chapter break or something. So the pacing seems a bit off, but it's kind of creepy, and I think they're just trying to build up the characters right now. Before crazy things start to happen in the game, so. when you start the game, you see the ghost actually coming out of the shadows. Let's see here. What? Oh, that's only when you when you first start the game. Okay. All right. So we've decided that we're going to meet with the professor instead of having a priest exorcise the ghosts in the house. So we'll meet with the professor.
I'll think about it, but if ever, I'd like to give talking to Andrew a try.
That's not what I wanted to do, but okay. I guess she's trying to impress Ashton. One thing I like about this game is it's fully voiced. You only have to read like the descriptions in between the dialogues, so or the internal monologues of the main character.
Is that okay? Won't he have other things to do?
He is a bit busy, but he'll make time for me. He's my go-to person when I'm stuck in something. He won't mind if I bring a friend with me this time.
If you're sure.
Guess that settles it then.
Guys, I said keep it down. You keep insisting that we still watch it. You're not even paying attention yourselves.
Really? Yeah, I don't understand why they're talking inside the theater. And this is Zach's movie. Zach should be shushing them, you know, like, can they talk about this after the movie?
It ain't a big deal, Rebecca. I'm the one who broached the subject in the first place.
It's still your film, Zachary. A good film, mind you. You worked hard on this.
Right.
The least we could do is watch it with you.
And that's what y'all doing. I really appreciate all of you making time for this.
Sorry, Becca. We'll stop now.
I throw her an apologetic look. Even if Ash is the only one she should be reprimanding, but her attention is already back on the screen. Why is Ash should the only one she should be reprimanding? You guys were talking together. She's ignoring us again. When Becca's acting this way, there's a big chance something's nagging at her. We really need to talk. We all fall into a comfortable silence after. The kind only you can share with people you're most at ease with. For the first time today, the letter lays forgotten in my bag, if only for a few hours. Night has fallen by the time we exit the movie house. Luxborn Independent Film and Theater Festival celebrated its 9th year discovering new creative talents in the film industry. Included in the few showcased this year was Zachary Steele's Blow France, Dark Times of the Black British. Isabella Santos, Ashton Frey, and Rebecca Gales were also amongst the crowd for its premiere. Zach is probably one of those movie stars that doesn't like watching himself. I think he's the director. Despite the late hour, the streets are bustling full of people, those about to head home, those set to meet someone, even those simply wandering about. Walking in this sea of unfamiliar souls, it strikes me how easy it is for one to get lost in a city of as nondescript as Luxborn. I was afraid too, at one point, back when I was new and had just set foot in this place. Now with familiar faces walking with me, it feels a little like home. Zach and Ash bid us goodbye shortly before Becca and I crossed to the other side of the street. The former claiming he's got a few freelance jobs to take care of before the day ends, and Ash, who knows, he never tells. Sometimes he'll just randomly appear at your doorstep, looking for a place to crash. He does that to Zach a lot, much to the latter's frustration. But he's a busy guy too, in spite of the laid-back air he gives off.
Thanks for today, everyone!
Oh, shut up, Zach.
No problem, Zach. I'm sorry for what happened earlier.
Help. Oh. She can hear the ghost. Come on. She's trying to get out.
Huh?
Dear Lord. There's no more. Where's the part? Where's the? It's not in this one. Basic advance. Oh, this one doesn't have basic advance. Okay. A sensation. Cold, sickening, drowning, my chest tightening, breathing becoming labored. I can taste blood in my mouth, the edges of my vision blurs. In the distance, amidst the countless, nameless people going about their lives, a voice reaches out to me. Help me. Pleading even as I clench my eyes tight and clasp my hands over my ears. Whispering and whispering and whispering, calling out.
No, not me.
Isabella? Earth to Isabella?
At her voice, the whole world suddenly snaps back into place, the murmurs gone. When I open my eyes, Becca raises an eyebrow at me in question.
Weren't you listening? Are you coming with me?
Oh, yeah. Just, okay. Sorry. I spaced out.
You always do that.
I follow her without complaint, but not before sneaking a glance to the far end of the street, where the voice came from, where another set of eyes might be staring at me. Nothing. There are only Zach and Ash watching over us as we head back to where Becca parked her car. If I'm expecting to see something or someone there, I try not to let it show, try not to think of the tiny pinpricks of fear crawling at the pit of my stomach.
See you guys some other time.
Yeah. See ya.
Another glance, and with a final wave, we go off our own ways. I don't know what I saw. I don't know what I heard. I don't want to know. And if this is what would help me sleep tonight, what would give me back that normalcy in my life, then so be it. The darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. My eyes snap open. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders ache after I've fallen asleep, all hunched up the night before. She has a bat cat pillow. Plushy. It's cute. Drenched in sweat, the nest of, and then she has a sheep plushie too, or pillow. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxborn, or at least none I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone. The knowledge that I'll wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to.
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Towel? Where's my towel?
Admittedly, it's a weekend. As an unspoken rule, that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened, oh Lord, one box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There was a moment of indecision at first. My mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. But what if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Ah, sheesh. In the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Just the sight of it is enough to put me in a foul mood, and it takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. Mama! The caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, in the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good, we're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lift in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I can do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are, Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Who's Kuya Jordan? Again, I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own and, well, eight Anns, 880 Anns. Financial situation isn't exactly great right now, having ran herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach. From the way Mama's voice hitches, she doesn't want to bring it up either.
Papa. Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds. But the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well. The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rests on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the cost of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure he'll get better soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I start to think that the call got cut until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition too.
Jesus. Fucking too much.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Kalen Kaui? What is that? When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the only person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definitive answer to? 5 years later and I still can't give them a straight one. I smile though. Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end. The sound of gates opening, the voice of a child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love
On
you.
a Saturday? But you just called me.
I love you. Bye.
That's funny. It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away the thoughts beginning to swim inside my head. Oh. Wait, oh, next day. Isabella received an unexpected call from her family back in the Philippines. An emotional moment. Her mother informed her of her father's deteriorating condition despite treatments. Nonetheless, the young woman assured her and continued to work hard to be able to support all of them. Oh my god, look at all the young kids. They've been fucking too much. Jeez. You gotta wear condoms sometimes to pull out. Jesus Christ. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step from my phone, it rings again. No doubt Mama forgot to say something.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
She doesn't even look at her phone when she answers the phone, huh?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god. I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if...
No. It's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden flooring, and indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting. Oh, look at the cup of noodles on her desk there. But it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone and finish my shower in record time. Wow, this build-up is like... It's real serious. You don't just go straight to the horror except for that like beginning part. I make it to our office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. And smelling like pee. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to Briar Realty Corporation's Luxburn office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals, agents talking at varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is he? Where are my employees? What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office, likely the work of our HR manager. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is, half their workload have been shifted to all available staff so as to not lose clients. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome, my bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork in my hands without explanation. The page flutters away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement? Rose simply gestures her thumb in the direction of our visitor lounge when I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa and looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. The Wrights. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats at my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants this sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, their deal needs to be closed yet. Documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there, along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She wouldn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
Dang, she rich.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
She had a hard time following that.
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible.
Really?
I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Dang.
Even with that urban legend?
She nods.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Yeah, after your bullshit.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? Apparently not. I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission after all, nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling that she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having our boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it has put him in a better mood, to the entire office's relief. Madam Hannah calls me over to the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. Her lips are twisted in a frown. She doesn't seem particularly happy to see me, and I am not surprised. Who wouldn't be? I almost created a scene. Mr. Wright, however...
Why, if it isn't the little Lily? I trust you're feeling well now.
It's Isabella, sir. Not Lily. I appreciate your concern. I'm feeling better now.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand him their copy of the agreement.
I believe I can take that. Thank you very much.
With how elegantly she plucks the papers off my hands, it's easier to think there isn't any trace of irritation in her. But it is there, radiating in her stiff stance, in the way she's standing at a fair distance from her husband, and how the two look to be ignoring each other. Seeing this scene, it soon becomes clear to me that I'm not the one who has put her in a bad mood. Did they fight? Most probably. I've seen it happen dozens of times with my previous clients. It's a shame, especially with their new mansion. I never did like it when my own mama and papa fight. I hope they'll make up soon. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Madam Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we've been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then? Are you really sure about this property, ma'am?
Can they fire her? She apparently is not really good at this job, because if somebody already signed the fucking agreement, shouldn't you just say, congratulations?
We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Slap her, somebody, please. Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glance that clearly says, don't make a scene, we're almost there.
Of course, why would I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
She's an
I
idiot.
thought that would still be a nice addition.
A helipad? Wow.
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately.
Wow.
Shame she didn't have it. Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We still have a housewarming party to plan after all. You know how much thought you put into those things.
There are servants for that, darling.
Love, servants or not, you're going to make people listen to your input nonetheless. No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us. Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding our silence.
What happened the day before was quite unfortunate, but you did get us what we wanted in the end.
Oh my god.
That, at the very least, is commendable.
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
I thought you said your dad needs some stupid fucking operation or some fucking treatment. Really? She's an idiot. I hate this character. I mean, I really, really hate this character. She's a complete moron.
Don't you worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
She smiles sweetly like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, transaction over and done with. My mind still reeling even after they've left. Other agents would kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds, just stock signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property of two innocent clients. Sure, the commission's big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization, big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, he'll keep me away from the instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well once the deal has been closed, much to my sanity's relief. But knowing that something's in there, and we gave it to the good couple despite that. Oh, Isabella, the things you do to sell a house and get money, Papa won't be happy with that. He wouldn't care. I mean, you're making good money and you're helping him at the hospital, so at least I have good news to tell next time I call home. The little lie I told Mama this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, there's something. So how does it feel?
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement. Holes. I don't know how she gets to sell this property. Because she's a horrible freaking... she's horrible at her job. She doesn't want her clients to buy the house.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too. Aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
Just go have fun with it.
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulders and leans in closer to my ear, as though she is about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Throw a party and treat your friends to free food.
Mm-hmm. And have a little dick, you know? It's okay to have a little, have a little sexy time.
Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem, ma'am. I could bring you a copy of the contract if...
Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, no matter how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through, unlike you. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Yeah, obviously. I don't know why they still have you employed. Of course, I learned eventually. I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or two away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed on the matter further. But perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives. Our goals we both let pass us by because of the circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion. Why? No news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away. I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
I thought I heard something. She throws a wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents, also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out, but oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today. If one considers taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made to Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash too. In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, couldn't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again, right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We have agreed to meet at the nearby cafe, the same one I frequent with Becca because it's cheap, and they give away free bread around closing time. Oh, that's a cute little restaurant. Starbucks coffee. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like its facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and row of shelves, boasting an extensive collection of books, cover the walls. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and are engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same things when there's something funny, but there's distance. The kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everybody knows that it means nothing against Becca's temper. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
They all wear the same thing every day.
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Don't rush me. Let's order food first, okay?
The waitress comes by to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great, even. It's not wrong to indulge it a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it, nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her eyebrows, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose what's likely a string of reprimands.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare she sends my way reminds me of the one I received from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 years ago. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small, sheepish grin is enough to turn that frown into a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we are each serve our order. It isn't anything fancy. Ooh, a pan-roasted sea bass with citrus-dressed asparagus. That's not fancy. And a portion of mashed potatoes on the side. Or at least that's what the daily specials board says. That's actually pretty good. That looks pretty good. Makes me hungry. I haven't eaten that yet. So, dinner, that is. I think I'm eating KFC tonight. I never did pay attention to it whenever I come here, since they price whatever's written way above, and I'm willing to spend on food on a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Too fancy for you.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
Let us say, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out of my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase that? I don't get it. Let me see here. What did she say? I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing. Why is that offensive? We're just gonna be funny. Ash is not here, so we should celebrate.
Let me do that again.
Oh my god, we got negative on both Zach and Rebecca. They're both sucking Ash's fucking dick. They were not entertained by that, huh? Okay.
We should celebrate because Ash Hole is totally missing out on
It's
my
a
first
joke,
treat
you guys.
ever.
It's a joke. Oh no, don't tell me that these two are quote-unquote woke.
I'm sure Ash has his reasons.
He hasn't even apologized for calling me a scaredy cat yesterday.
A half-hearted complaint without any meaning to it. Done more out of habit than with any real malice or hatred to it. After all the times he's called me scaredy cat, the word itself has completely lost its meaning. Imagine that. There's disappointment, of course, in knowing he's off who knows where while we're having fun here. Sheesh, don't just disappear off the face of the planet without telling anyone.
You aren't really upset about that, are you?
No, not really. But it's his loss for missing this once-in-a-century event.
He did seem to be in a hurry when we parted last night after the movie. He said he got a big lead on his case.
Oh, yeah, he mentioned that. but you know how he is about his work. Everything except his unholy love for bad puns is a secret.
He never mentioned those to me.
I ain't surprised. He's more tight-lipped with this one. Something about it being bigger than what they usually let him handle.
Don't worry, Becca. I'll make him talk.
It's not necessary. He'll talk when he wants. And if what Zack says is true, it's better if we keep our noses out of this. His job isn't exactly a walk in the park. We'll only get in the way if we pester him about it.
Well, he better treat us to something other than ice cream once he solves that one. That's Scrooge.
But that's not really why you asked us out, right?
She gestures at our food with her hand as though it is something she's not willing to touch until I give her answers.
I promise I'd treat you to a free lunch if the mansion got sold, yeah?
We live in cancel culture, no jokes nowadays. You know, I just watched that Chappelle latest special like a couple of nights ago, and I heard about the situation at Netflix. Like, did those people who were upset even watch the freaking show? Those people who worked at Netflix? It's unbelievable. Understanding dawns on her face. The bewildered look she's been sporting changes into something close to delight.
You should have just told us. No need for all this fancy, secrety stuff.
It was supposed to be a surprise. I made a promise, didn't I?
There was one person who said they were a Chappelle fan. Oh, please. Yeah, I thought there was is that also the person who works at Netflix? Because apparently there's also, I think, like a trans person who works at Netflix who's also very upset with the situation and planning to do planning to quit with a bunch of other people. Oh, so it was her? Okay, and she will no longer work with Netflix. Yeah. I have a feeling that person didn't even watch the show. I mean, because if this person watched the show, I don't think they would be offended. It's crazy. And if they were offended, even if they watched the show, then they kind of, well, some people, I guess, just don't understand what a joke is. Or what comedy is, you know. Some people just can't take a joke at all. So
I wasn't expecting you'd really do it.
I'm glad Netflix is, you know, standing firm on that though. So and it's on the side of Chappelle. So that's good.
Well, it's already here. If you don't want to eat it, I'll just...
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. A laugh almost escapes my mouth with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me, just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
No, please leave it, ma'am. We're simply humbled by your utmost generosity. Considering you're as much of a Scrooge as Ashton.
Don't compare me to him. He's the one who looks like he's about to have an episode whenever he has to spend more than £5.
£5? Oh, so they're in Europe. Okay. Is that why everyone has a British accent?
I honestly wish there's a way for you to see the look on your face when you haggle. Remind me to record it once. I think it's something like this.
She puffs her cheeks and furrows her eyebrows in imitation of how I supposedly appear. I don't look like that at all. Do I? She drops the act at the flat look. She drops the act at the flat look I shoot her. Her laughter dies, but the playful gleam in her eyes remains.
This means you're gonna be okay now, yeah?
For a while. It just means we won't have to worry about paying for the treatment and the bills. But that's all that matters, right? I mean, we're not yet sure if the new medication will produce better results, but Mama and the doctor said Papa's responding well to the treatment. That's one reason to be hopeful. And with the money, I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Saying it this way sounds as if I'm trying to convince myself. But no matter what, I allow myself to smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange talking about this with other people, even those who have known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there. Who's jabbing who? But most of it is spent on catching up and telling stories about whatever's keeping us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca is surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic. While he's far from being the life of the party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in the conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices,
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? What? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
a pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately, Becca retreats in an inquiry as though the man's look is enough of an answer for her. I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up late.
You heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her emotions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it has always been better to wait, let him speak on his own. Becca, too, to some extent, although with her, explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca.
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. It's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Bowbag.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not care about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out dribble, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say. If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
But you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters to those people.
Don't say that!
Why are they all fucking too emotional about this? My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top clinking against each other. I didn't even notice when I rose from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher would at an unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I didn't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He, of all people, should know.
It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Hey, if his documentary sucks, it sucks. You know, you guys weren't even watching. You guys were talking in the back. I mean, yeah. Those reviewers probably noticed that the director was talking with his friends instead of paying attention to his own movies, so... I can understand why a bad review was written.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam is in her eyes when I turn to her. What does she find so entertaining here? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. He's just saying that. He's not really gonna quit. I mean, you guys are really... Oh, God. I haven't read what those people wrote about his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
She's not only doing that because she's your friend. She didn't even watch the movie yesterday. Remember, you guys were talking. Whatever I'm about to say gets lost in my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Bring her favorite?
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
Thanks, you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all. Only a poor imitation of a puppy dog eyes. If you could call this one. If you could call this one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now.
Right.
Once night ain't for another week.
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I still have time. I could still come back. I do my own thing, do what I really want to do. Sure, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything, inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows a whoa, so finally she looks at the screen.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxbourne's streets. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next object of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally run out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumble plea for me to meet the right interior designer in her stead and
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
classic Rose. She ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we leave the cafe. A day after the open house, the Wrights were seen securing the mansion's purchase of Briar Realty's Luxbourne office. Parties involved in the transaction were surprised at how fast it went, but agreed it was to be expected when dealing with influential people like the Wrights. Happy over the sale, Isabella Santos treated her friends to lunch. How sweet. Okay, let's save. Okay, so it's been an hour. This build-up is pretty long. They want us to really know these people. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. Yeah, me too. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxborn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fill the humid afternoon air. A small reminder of the things we still have to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me. Zach to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Does she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her this Christmas. I turned my head at the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. Oh! That was really sudden. She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, boring into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time, only a plea, a hum, low and indistinct, compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs. Each beat, every thump, screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All of my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls. Help me.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. The panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm and her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after I got what I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Woo! Her face contorts and she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat, hoarse from the screams I didn't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling on the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze blurring my mind. What? For a little while, my surrounding appears unfamiliar until Becca's face swims into my vision. The look of concern is on her face and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands behind her, acting as a shield against a small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words refuse to form. On impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, my weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home at the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up, anything to get the wretched sensation out.
You are screaming! Zach, call someone!
No, don't. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful! Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I attempt a smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. After a pleasant lunch with Zachary Steele and Rebecca Gales, Isabella Santos received an urgent phone call from Rose Cooper, asking her to meet with the Wright's interior designer. Left with no choice, she hurried back to BRC, but on her way, one of the shops she passed by, a familiar smile greeted her. Gently, I push her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave. Leave me. Stay away. Away. The humidity is stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving, and Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I don't want to be here. No more. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. Here, with only the occasional drips of water and on the sink, and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company, it's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking. But even with the clutter to keep me company, the room still feels a whole lot bigger than usual. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there was a way to tune everything out, to keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still hanging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away or rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who have already seen it? Will they be okay? The uncertainty gnaws at me, knowing that she's real and might also go after the people I care about. I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish out my phone from under the mess of papers and cushions, where I've carelessly thrown it before taking a shower hours ago. Ash's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is he calling because of this afternoon?
Thank you so much for spamming my inbox, scaredy cat.
Hey, Ash.
What's wrong?
I just had a long day. The couple who bought the house wanted us to finish processing the papers within the week. It's a little hectic, but we'll manage.
Really? You sold it?
Don't sound so surprised. I told you, you don't stand a chance. The Wrights won't take no for an answer. You've been on the losing end from the very start. Ha!
Whoever said I was interested in the house in the first place?
But you said...
She's an idiot. Despite his light tone, his snicker only comes off as annoying to my ears. I have to fight the urge to end the call right then and there. Stupid Ash.
You're such an ass. And just so you know, I'm not treating you to a separate celebration. Forever.
No, that's just unfair. And here I was looking something up for you. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to Andrew?
I pause. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble, considering how much he scoffed at the whole topic in the first place.
Is he okay with that?
Totally. Besides, I need to ask him about something. I might as well do it soon. What do you say you come with me tomorrow morning?
Well, there's no harm in it, I suppose. I've got a free day anyway.
Great, I'll just pick you up. Don't oversleep.
Don't compare me to you. I'm not the one who sleeps like a rock.
How would you know that? Another round of chuckle from him. Oh, I will live for the day he'll stop making fun of me. Just wait, you ash hole. As I'm about to end the call, he clears his throat.
And, Isabella?
I love you. His sudden, diffident tone sends my eyebrows shooting up into my hairline. Is the world ending today?
Yeah? Did you forget something?
Do you think you...
Do you think you want to be want to do the sex?
Never mind. Good night.
Dear Lord. He hangs up instantly. Rude, completely rude. I didn't even get to thank him. The busy tone, though, muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one is saying this will work. Even I am doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. Ashton Frey reminded Isabella Santos of their meeting with Professor Andrew Clark tomorrow, a respected professor with a doctorate degree in sociology, and a former researcher specializing in ethnography and psychology. Ashton assured that his friend can help with her worries regarding the mansion's rumors. Okay. And for the first time in a long time, I dream of clear skies. Oh, I can feel that this is a setup of unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets and of small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this is home to me. That felt like a setup. Morning dawns bright and clear the following day. Although the air still feels muggy and I miss the chilly autumn weather. It's one of those rare weekends when I'm up even before my alarm rings. If it wasn't for Ash's call last night, I'd probably sleep in. When 9 a.m. rolls around, I'm already heading downstairs where Ash is waiting for me in his car. The hair's disheveled mess. Oh. Eyes drowsy, and overall looking like he's hurried to get out of bed. And he smells like cum. Or fell out of it. Or both. He looks adorably rumpled this way. But I'm not going to tell him that. It'll only bloat his unbearable ego.
Good morning, Ash.
He makes a motion with his finger around his ear. Tone it down.
Can you even drive?
He answers me with a slight raise of his hand, a yawn and nothing more. He has never been particularly fond of mornings, and for that, I'm thankful to every god in the universe, less mental capacity for him to make fun of me. There's the reason why mornings are my favorite. It doesn't take long for us to reach our destination, a small cafe situated in Luxbourne's busiest street. The same one I'd often visit with Becca for its cheap food. Is this the same from yesterday? What can you just say, yesterday is the same bar I went to yesterday, or the same restaurant? I've never gone here on a Sunday, and it's striking how different it appears without the usual weekday and Saturday rush. The atmosphere especially reminds me of something we also have back home, near the university I used to attend. I wonder what happened to it. It was being renovated before I left, so I never got to visit one last time. The place has always had a calming effect on me. But today, despite standing in a place similar to it, anxiety easily washes over me as soon as I step out of the car. I'm quite used to dealing with people I've never met before, thanks to my work, but still, I don't know him. In spite of the fact that both Ash and Becca have vouched for him, what will he think of me and my story? What if he thinks I'm crazy? Hell, even my own friends thought so. I draw in a breath to quell the panic beginning to rise in me. Oh well, only one way to find out. A few hesitant steps forward, and then Ash is suddenly pulling me back by my elbow.
Hold on, scaredy cat, not too fast.
Without warning, he flicks my forehead. Hard.
That hurts. What was that for?
He's already walking away when I look up, and I hurry to catch up to him, puzzled. I really don't understand this guy. At least, explain why you're flicking other people's foreheads all of a sudden. So rude.
Get yourself together, will you? He's not going to bite. He's very accommodating, too.
I wasn't scared of him or anything?
You don't look like it. Didn't sound like you were okay last night either.
Huh?
What was that last one? Hey! Don't just ignore me!
All questions and retorts die on my mouth once he opens the door to the shop. A cast iron bell attached to it chimes softly, announcing our arrival. The smell of freshly brewed coffee welcomes us as we step in. It's the same place as yesterday. Why couldn't they just say that? Like the usual, several tables and chairs have been set up for the patrons, but most of our customers have foregone them in favor of the more comfortable throw pillows and bean bags the staff has laid out on the floor. Becca would love to know they have something like this on Sundays. She's been complaining how uncomfortable the library chairs are for a long time now. Ash leads me to a secluded spot near the window, where an old man, probably in his 50s or 60s, is seated, enjoying a brew and a book.
Professor Clark.
It's just Andrew now. I'm no longer your professor, Detective Inspector Frey.
Oh, Andrew. The guy, Andrew, looks up from his book and gives him a smile. Oh, they had a history. A sheepish look crosses Ash's face at the older man's admonishment. More unusual, in my opinion, is seeing him appear like a parent has just scolded him. But it suggests a familiarity between them, one that goes beyond what someone expects from a simple student and a mentor. With another warm smile, he gestures for us to take the empty seats opposite him.
Have you been waiting long?
Quite some time, but I come here early on weekends. Best time to get their first serving of bear claws. They're the only place that serves it here. I took the liberty of ordering for you two. I hope you don't mind. I thought it'd be best to talk over a decent helping of coffee.
Soon enough, a waiter brings us 2 more cups and sets down a basket of pastries.
Aren't you going to introduce the lady?
Ah, right. Sorry. Isabella, this is Prof. Andrew. He's one of my professors back at the university. Andrew, this is Isabella Santos.
Santos. Portuguese? Spanish? Brazilian? Mexican?
Dang, you racist.
Filipina, actually. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Does that matter, Ethan?
Ah, your name carries a lot of history, Miss Santos. Just Andrew was fine. Don't do what Ashton's doing. He doesn't listen to this old man.
He doesn't listen to anyone, more like. The awkward tension typically present in first meetings dissipates after that. I was expecting someone strict, and to an extent, someone severe. But Professor Andrew Clark is definitely the opposite of what I have in mind. The more personable, kind, similar to a grandfather who dotes on you at family gatherings. It's obvious why Ash has taken a liking to him.
Ashton tells me there's something you wish to discuss that I can help with. Let's hear it then.
I give Ash a hesitant glance, but he just nods and gestures towards Andrew with his head. He's leaving this to me. It's my story to tell, after all. I keep it short and concise. I found a letter in his old mansion. Now I'm cursed. Exactly as I have told Ash and Zach when they asked about it. I don't mention the name of the place. No use of saying it now that someone else legally owns it. No use dragging other people into my problems.
I'm sure it's that letter I found, but I don't know anymore. I just want to know how to escape this nightmare.
Of course. We're talking about the one in Anslem Village, aren't we?
How did you...
Don't look so surprised. There's only one place popular enough here if we're going to talk about hauntings. I once had a colleague who wrote about it and the urban legends surrounding the place. Years worth of study, but fascinating. It's a shame he passed away at such a young age. He would have done a much better job at explaining topics like this one compared to me. Ashton here might disagree, but it's an interesting topic in sociology, if you care to have an open mind.
Studying the science and theory behind it is completely different from outright believing in it.
You don't believe in those stories, sir?
Now, this isn't a question of belief. All I'm saying is things like these speak a lot about a place's culture and history, and it's not just limited to ghosts. Monsters, gods, you name it. Even you, Miss Santos.
What about me?
How you respond to these stories. It tells a lot about you and your upbringing, in the same way it tells me why our detective inspector here finds such topics absurd. Interesting, isn't it?
My head is starting to spin from all of this. I'm not the smartest person around, well, we all know that. But I understand what he's trying to get at, I think. It's still too much to take in at once. I look to Ash for help, but his eyebrows are drawn in a frown. If he keeps staring like that at his cup, I'm pretty sure it will crack soon.
There's still something you're not telling.
Didn't I tell you everything the other day?
Yeah, but you mentioned the rights, that you proceeded to drop the topic right after. What's with that?
They don't have anything to do with this.
Rights. Luke and Hannah, right?
Yeah, they're the ones who got the place.
Ah, I'm not surprised. They're the kind who gets what they want once they set their eyes on it. From what I've heard, word gets around.
A heavy sigh escapes my lips. Popular or not, they're just my clients, albeit a little pushy, but just clients. End of story. I wish she'd stop pestering me about them. We're gonna hush, Ash. Shut up, Ash. Uh-oh. This whole relationship meter thing reminds me of the what you call that? The Until Dawn and Man of Medan, all of those games. What is it called? The something. What is the series called? The new one, the trilogy. After Dark. No, it wasn't After Dark. Something else. What was it called? What is it called? The Dark Pictures Anthology. So I guess maybe it plays similarly to that with the relationship meter. Maybe that's what inspired them to have it for this game. But yeah, they need to release. What they need to do is after they release the latest one. So now you have 3 different stories as part of the anthology, and then they need to release Until Dawn, and then now you have like a series of 3 more horror games or horror stories, but with the psychologist. Or they can even like just change that and then just put the guy who's not doing the anthology, you know, and remove the other guy, and then release that as an update for people who have Until Dawn, and then just, you know, release it on Steam and everywhere else. It would be great actually to have Until Dawn on Steam, but I'm gonna still play that later this month. Cause I remember like when I was playing Until Dawn, the PlayStation 4 was making like a really loud noise. I don't know, because I was still installing the game, but I thought the game was already installed, and then throughout playing that, the PlayStation 4 sounded like it was about ready to explode, because that game has really, really awesome graphics. Oh Lord, this isn't what I signed up for when I agreed to meet with the professor, with his professor.
Shut up, Ashton.
You're avoiding the question again.
They're just my clients.
Yeah, you mentioned that, but that doesn't mean...
And I see no reason why you should be suspicious of them.
Everyone has a reason to be. All I'm saying is you should be careful who you deal with, especially those people.
You can't just go tell people to avoid them. At least tell me why.
Can't. Will you just listen to me?
Can you even hear yourself? You're not making sense.
Wow, she looks scarier than the ghost. The cups rattled the moment I slammed my hand on the table. I'm quick to cast the couple sitting beside us an apologetic smile when they turn their head at the sound. Ash and I stare each other down. Both of us are carrying a tight expression on our faces, neither wanting to give way. How am I supposed to understand if you keep holding things back yourself? It wasn't like this before, but somewhere along the way, something has changed in us as people, as friends. Yeah, and also you guys want to fuck, and the tension is in the air. I wish there's a way I could tell when or why. Instead, I'm left searching blindly for reasons. The next thing we know, we'll be drifting further and further apart. How frustrating.
Now, kids, settle down. We're not going to solve anything by shouting.
Sorry, Sir Andrew.
And we're not going to solve anything either if you keep omitting things.
Speak for yourself. I'm not the only one doing it.
You'll have to forgive my former student, Miss Santos. He's always been the curious kind. Many people think he's lazy, but it's actually the opposite. I see that hasn't changed.
Oh, really? How is he back when he was your student? I'm sorry, I need to ask. He doesn't talk much about that.
And there's a reason why. Please don't.
Tried to sleep on the first day of class. He didn't repeat it after what I made him do when I caught him. Students like him are the easiest to deal with, once you know what piques their interest. I'd have to say, he's one of the very few who's actually interested in the subject, though. But there was this one time when...
By the end of the conversation, Ash looks like he's praying for the ground to swallow him. He's never been the one to talk about himself. What I know about him are mostly bits and pieces I've gleaned over the years. He's an atrocious singer, he's bad at art, and he has a personal vendetta against mornings. Now it feels he isn't that hard to figure out after all. It's past noon when Andrew has to leave for another meeting, but before we separate...
Miss Santos, a word of advice. Just keep in mind that when it comes to cases like this, things aren't always what they seem.
Naturally, the mention in the letter was brought up several times during our talk, and though Ash is right in that Andrew offers a different perspective, he has left me with more questions than answers instead. What is she? What does she want from me? Is she ever going to leave? They all continue to bug me after we've left the coffee shop. I don't even notice when Ash takes a different turn on our way back.
Where are we going? You can drop me off at the park.
Guess. You have 3 chances.
I'm serious, Ash. Where are we going?
He doesn't answer, but shortly he stops his car in front of a small, nondescript food stall, a little ways away from the movie house. If I wasn't paying closer attention, I would have missed it without a doubt. He motions for me to wait as he gets off the car and walks in its direction. Sheesh. If you want to buy something, just say it. No need to make yourself look mysterious. It makes you look more like a dork than cool. The wait isn't long, however. Soon, he's walking back, holding 2 fish-shaped cones in both hands. Ice cream, parfait, a cross of the two. By the time he's back inside the car, I've given up any effort to figure out what he bought. Not that it looks bad, it's actually quite cute.
Here, take it.
Can we see how it looks like? I had to move my head back a little when he thrust it at me to avoid the ice cream and the fruit toppings from ending up on my nose.
What's this for?
Oh God, what the fuck? It looks like like somebody stick their dick into a fish's mouth.
My arm's getting tired. 5, 4, 3, 2.
With a wary glance, I take it off his hands. I still don't understand why there's a need for ice cream today. Nevertheless, I take a small bite. It's actually pretty good. It must have shown in my face because he chuckles as soon as I take another one.
Saw the place open the other day when we watched Zach's movie. Thought I should give it a try. It doesn't seem like a bad place to get food from time to time.
And you're giving me free ice cream because...
'cause he wants your ice cream.
Do I need to have a reason?
Are you really going to ask me that?
Here's the thing with Ashton Frey. He does not just treat anyone to free food because he feels like it. He's that much of a Scrooge. He even asked me to teach him how to haggle once. Haggle? Of all the people who'd ask me that, I'd have expected such requests from Becca, but Ash, not at all. If I'm going to be honest, he looks a bit constipated with that expression on his face right now. I think he's starting to regret ever buying this.
The other day? The movie with Zach and Rebecca? Rebecca's there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Anyway, during the movie, we, shit. Should have written down something first.
Get to the point, Ashton.
Right. I'm sorry.
What?
Not I'm sorry for, not getting to the point.
Oh, just say that you want to kiss her or some shit.
I'm sorry for the other day. I got carried away. I said things that upset you. I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay? That's all? That's all you're going to say? You're not still angry, are you?
You didn't have to buy me anything. A simple sorry would have been enough.
A little kiss. I bite into the cone again, a small attempt to keep myself occupied and relieve the heat crawling up my face. Uh-oh. It doesn't work, but at least I don't have to look at him. Why am I feeling embarrassed over an apology? I have no idea. It's not like it wasn't called for. They were being mean, especially him. And in that fraction of a second, it hits me. He skipped his day off just for today. I should be the one apologizing and thanking him. Silence is an awkward company while we finish our respective snacks. There are words for this. For people like us, for understandings and sentiments like this. Yet, in this instant, they won't come. As promised, he drops me off at the park right after, phrases unsaid still hanging heavily in the air. Oh, that's cute. In this weather, the park gives off a lazier and more languid vibe than usual. Where children are usually seen running around and playing, there are now people leaning back on their picnic blankets, simply enjoying the afternoon sun. The smell of food drifts from nearby carts, and if the wind blows in the right direction, one would catch the whiff of a freshly trimmed grass. Maybe I should try walking home today, to get my mind off things, to try and find the words somehow. I haven't done that in a while.
Thanks, Ash, for today.
No problem. Say hi to Rebecca for me.
Yeah, I will.
Even so, I linger. We both do. A mild, humid breeze brings the smell of dried leaves, warmed earth, and a far-off, distant memory. A fall starts in awkward first meetings. Same place, same people playing the same parts. Funny how of all the days, my brain chooses to remember it now.
Wait, Belle.
Ash exits his car. His strides are unsteady when he approaches me. Or maybe this is his uncertainty showing. I'm not quite sure. He has never looked uncertain to me before. Yeah, because he's got to be careful. If he kisses you and you don't like him, that becomes a Me Too moment. Always calm, always sure, always collected. He stops a short distance from me, close enough that he's within an arm's reach, but just far enough for his voice to be heard over a decent small talk, if this is what it's going to be. He fumbles for something in his pockets.
Here, catch.
What? The small bag lands cleanly on my outstretched hands before it hits the ground. I raise my eyebrow at him, and he responds by shrugging and stuffing both his hands back into his pockets. Somewhere to the side, he finds an interesting spot to look at. Sometimes you have to wait, Papa said long ago. For once, this time, I listen. His voice is halting, hesitant when he finds it again.
My mom used to make me carry around one of those when I was young. To ward off evil and bring you luck, she said. I don't believe in this kind of thing now.
Whoa!
But what if it makes you feel safe?
Whoa!
Since you're a total scaredy cat.
He's so loud all of a sudden.
Then I guess it's okay to give you one.
Perhaps at the moment there aren't any words for it. I've never been good with those. Should we be nice to him or should we be an asshole? You're not bad after all. I'm gonna say you can be nice when you're trying. Where is it? It doesn't say if it's a positive or negative. I closed the short distance separating us. Oh, I think it's just a story indication. I chose the short distance separating us and give him a light punch on his arm. The gesture, familiar, in place of phrases one couldn't spin together or answers too early to seek out.
See, you can be pretty nice when you're trying.
I am nice.
When you're sleeping, but thanks for this.
Ash deserves it.
Don't go losing it. It brings bad luck if you do.
Wait, are you serious?
I knew there's a catch. This Ashhole.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Lord.
You did this on purpose, didn't you? Oh, I should have known.
Not entirely. But seriously, if anything happens, tell me. I'll be around.
Before leaving, he waves at me one last time. He's back to teasing me, back to our usual routine, back to what we're comfortable with. But for all that, I believe in him. I just hope. Ashton Frey reminded Santos on I already read this, right? Timeline. Oh, new one. Professor Clark, Ashton Frey, and Isabella Santos met up at a coffee house to discuss the rumors surrounding the mansion. The professor warned the young woman not to take everything at face value. Before parting ways at the park, Ashton gave Isabella a charm that supposedly wards off evil to put her mind at ease. I just hope I can keep them safe. Keep him safe. A light wind blows again, sending dried leaves swirling and the distinct smell of earth into the air. For the first time, the sunlight feels less harsh. Maybe a walk is good? I need to visit the grocery too. Come to think of it, wasn't there an art store that opened recently near the park? Room. The cat's name is Beruthiel. What? Oh, or at least that's what his collar says. It's an odd name to give a cat, in my opinion. But it speaks grace much like the one that carries it. It shows in the way he swishes his tail, and his eyes follow my hand's every movement. I'm not sure what he finds fascinating in me, to be honest. I wasn't the very picture of grace when he found me, after all. What? It was a bad idea carrying 2 heavy bags of nearly bought art materials and groceries without help or a sure ride home. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't have bought all of these at the same time. I didn't even make it past the park. And now I'm suffering underneath the glaring afternoon sun, hunched up on a park bench and drenched in sweat, in the company of a cat curiously watching my every movement. It's kind of weird how they only show you the collar, but not the cat. You know, I thought maybe she found a collar on the ground. I hope it stays where it is. It's just a black cat, but back at home, they're considered ill omens.
Don't look at me like that. I can act graceful as well if I want to.
Not that I ever acted graceful in my life, of course. Growing up with rowdy younger brothers and a sister does that. Or maybe it's the opposite. Mama used to call me a little troublemaker before. Well, graceful or not, there's no use moping. A short breather and then I'm off home. Besides, it isn't the company's bad. It isn't like the company's bad, even if it's a cat. As long as it doesn't bite or crosses my path.
Where's your owner, anyway?
Vroom, vroom. He has one, doesn't he? An owner? That's what the collar's for, isn't it? A bandage is wrapped on one of its paws, though. I wonder what happened to it. Did he run away?
Well, if you don't have one, I won't be able to take you in. My apartment doesn't allow pets.
I really surely hope she doesn't take this cat in. But I have a feeling that she's going to, because she's a total idiot.
I tried to bring one home before. A cat. Not black, of course. And Rebecca threw a fit before the landlady could.
I take a small packet of sweets from one of the bags beside me and pop it open. As I'm about to put one into my mouth, he meows. My hand stops.
Do you want one?
Why are you giving the cat sweets? He doesn't meow again as I'm expecting him to, but I take his unblinking gaze as a yes. I shift the piece to my palm and hold it out to him warily. He sniffs at it once, twice before.
Dorothea!
Why is he giving a piece of candy to a cat? She is a moron. She's a complete moron. Like a good, properly trained pet, Dorothea responds as soon as he's called. Recognition comes as soon as my head snaps in the direction of the voice. Miss McCullough. Hard to miss, what with her height.
I'm sorry. Did my cat hurt you? Miss Santos, was it? I'm surprised to see you here.
Nice to meet you again, Miss McCullough.
Were you harmed in any way? I'm sorry. Bruthiel's not exactly fond of other people. Even run away from the veterinarian right now.
Oh, she's supposed to have like an Irish accent?
Oh no, he was just sniffing my hand earlier.
No, you were trying to offer a candy, you idiot.
My Bruthiel's a she.
She, all this time I thought the pause in the conversation, if this can be called one, it's uncomfortable. We're merely two people working different jobs for the same client. Frankly, meetings like this don't happen a lot, and if it does, a simple nodding of heads is enough. Still, trying to be friendly wouldn't hurt, right? Talk about her cat. Is it a plus? A minus? Oh shit. I keep my tone cordial and warm.
I'm actually surprised you have a cat, Miss McCullough.
And why exactly is that? There are a lot of people who have pets.
Yeah, but not a black one. I'm
Not
engaged
a
to taking
black
care of
one? Jeez.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at. Is there a problem with my cat?
No, not at all. She's very sweet. Just in other cultures, aren't they a sign of bad luck?
She is a complete moron. She is just a complete moron. Isabella the idiot. Back at home it is. My grandmother used to tell me stories about it, and
Nothing has happened to me so far.
displeasure is evident on her face. Of course, I've forgotten that for other people, black cats are an omen of good luck. There you go again, running your mouth off, Isabella. I rack my brain for a way to remedy the situation, but she holds out a hand.
This is a good place to stop and end this conversation, don't you think so? It is good to see you again, Santos.
A complete dismissal if I've ever heard one. You asked for it, though. I watch her as she leaves, though she stops shortly before crossing the threshold, separating the park and the street. She faces me again, looking like there's something she has forgotten to say.
By the way, about the Ermengarde mansion, with my clients, it's the rights. I mean, I hope you don't mind me asking, but has the deal been finalized?
There's still a few papers they need, but the house is more or less theirs now.
Thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Wait, about the mansion.
Don't be stupid. The letter, the same one they saw. Whoever she is, she's asking for help. Someone. I want to tell Miss McCullough. that the urban legends aren't just legends anymore. They're real. She is not going to believe me.
Don't mind me. I need to go too. Have a good day, Miss McCullough.
I hastened to pick all the bags I've left on the bench and ran as far as my legs can take me. In that moment, what I'm carrying in my hands weighs far lighter than the overwhelming guilt trying to consume me. Home. I want to go home. Anywhere where I won't be reminded of the house, of her, of my own cowardice. The food tastes less appetizing tonight. While looking after a lost cat, Isabella Santos met the interior designer Marian McCullough by chance. She also happened to be the cat's owner. The two were seen having small talk before Isabella abruptly left. A pity. One would think that someone who had been on a continuous binge of instant noodles would find a home-cooked meal enjoyable. But it isn't. Hunger isn't what is gnawing at me tonight, though. Neither are my sore muscles. The TV runs loudly in the background, but what it says barely registers in my brain. It's hard when things you're trying to forget keep returning to the forefront of your mind. It distracts you, eats at you, devours you. I wish this would stop. I wish I wasn't the one who picked it up. I wish it was someone else. Somebody else. All you have to do is just follow the instructions. Send it to 5 people. Go make a copy of it. Send it to 5 people. Send it to those stupid friends of yours.
In other local news, a woman was found dead in her home. Luxbourne police officials are currently investigating the crime scene, but has classified the case as homicide.
Huh?
The victim, identified as Rose Pamela Cooper, 33 years old, working as a real estate agent.
Oh, Rose! Rose is dead! Rose!
Discovered lying in a pool of blood in her 2-bedroom flat with the words "Help me" repeatedly written on the walls.
No. No! This isn't what I want. This isn't supposed to happen. None of this is supposed to happen. No one's supposed to die. Those are just stories, right? Legends. That's what everyone has kept telling me, and so why? And I immediately I rushed to my study table in search of my phone. My hand, cold from dread, clings tightly to it as soon as I touch its edges. A piece of folded paper, the letter, lying unassumingly beside it, slips to the floor when I pick up the device, but I pay it no mind. There are more important things. Right now. I need to call her. I was with her. I was just with her not too long ago and she was okay. No. It isn't Lois, I'm sure of it. I just talked to her and a sob escapes me and hot tears begin to blur my vision. One after another, they trickle down, weighted by the very same guilt I refuse to admit I've been carrying from the start. The same one I've been hiding from. The same one that has put the people I care about in danger. My hands shake as I navigate to Rose's number on my contacts list. She'll answer, right? That's what she always does. She'll pick it up, tell me to turn down the waterworks, and call me a wuss afterwards.
She'll answer. Please answer.
You just saw her in the news. How? They just said that she's dead. She's an idiot. Whispering, praying, pleading.
Come on, Rose. Don't do this to me. Please pick up. I know you're there, Rose. You're not dead. Please tell me you're not.
This adds to the series of deaths and disappearances that has plagued Luxbourne in the recent years. The authorities are currently looking at a possible link with the notorious Anselm Butcher case.
Anselm Butcher case? A deafening static sounds from my phone's speakers. But in my ears, I can only hear the screams, her pleas, her whispers. Help me. We are not safe. A buzzing sensation jolts me awake. News broke of Rose Cooper being found dead in a flat the evening before. The authorities classified the crime as homicide, possibly linked to the notorious Anselm Butcher, the mysterious serial killer who had committed brutal murders over the years and left their bodies with his signature phrase, "Help me." Oh. My body still wants to sleep, to forget what I heard, what I saw last night. Things are starting to get interesting here, but it's there, nudging, prodding at me. Slowly I become aware of how awkward my position is, and the aches that accompany sleeping in a curled-up position the night before. If I even slept at all. The memories are impossible to forget now that Rose is gone. They say it's easier that when you say it out loud. Instead, the words weigh heavier on me each time. She's gone. Gone because of me. Gone because of one letter I was too curious to look at. I should have been more careful. I should have just kept my mouth shut. I should have destroyed it before anyone else had gotten involved. I should have... The notification light on my laptop blinks incessantly, mockingly, when I look at it as if it's calling me back to a sense of normalcy. To all BRC employees, in light of the recent events, there will be an all-staff emergency meeting from 1 to 2 p.m. Attendance is a must. Company changes, new hierarchy, and policies will all be discussed during the meeting. Everyone is expected to bring a copy of their own attendance logs and sales reports for the last 6 months to be submitted to your respective managers for review. We're expecting everyone's cooperation. Thank you, Joanne Alice Schultz, HR manager. I check it nonetheless, out of habit more than anything. If there were one of those typical days, I'd happily comply and get myself to our office. Today my limbs just feel heavy. On one hand, going will keep me busy, take my mind elsewhere. On the other hand, the place in itself is a stark reminder of what my own fears have cost me. We should go to work though. We need to know what's going on. Moping won't get me anywhere. This is just like one of those things, isn't it? You deal with it with a smile, no matter how bad things get, and hope for the best. Although my whole body feels like lead and my limbs are sore, I push myself away from the chair and head for the shower. The letter I dropped on the floor last night flutters open as I pass by, unfolding for no one else but me to see. Every word written on it glares back at me. They sneer, they ridicule, like living beings fully aware of what they've done. With a huff, I pick it up and shove it into my bag, perhaps with more anger and frustration than I'm used to showing. This too I'll deal with. Somehow, I'll find a way and make things right. I have to, before it takes more people from me, even if I must do it on my own. Okay, so it's a 2-hour mark. Papers rustling, telephones ringing, feet shuffling. Let me just do a little bit of this. Overall, today looks like a typical working day at Briar Realty Corporation. That's kind of weird. How come nobody's talking about this? Except it isn't. The air is thick with tension and unspoken questions. No doubt everyone present has already heard about the woes. If they missed last night's report, they'd likely see it in the morning news, in the papers, or on various news sites on the internet. Everywhere is a bitter reminder. In fact, everyone's giving me a wide berth, as though the mere mention of Rose would be enough to trigger something in me. It's appreciated, but it only serves to create a bigger hole in the place Rose has left. After lunch, my boss calls for a meeting. I don't have to look up from my work to know what it's about. He's in a strange, pensive mood today, probably out of respect for a dead colleague. Oddly, I'd appreciate it more if he just shouted at me today. Anything is better.
I'm sure you've all heard of what happened to Miss Cooper. She was a valued member of our team and she will be missed. There's no date for a funeral, yet, but those who wish to attend, kindly speak with your respective supervisors. By the way, has anyone heard about our still AWOL staff? None? HR, you know what to do. Santos, a word? In my office?
At the end of it, I've been given the entirety of Rose's workload, including finalizing the rights papers, and have been promised an ample compensation for my efforts. I think he's expecting me to be happy about it. Instead, I immerse myself in my work. I have to, anyway, if I want to forget. Employee of the Month achievement. Time flies when you do, and by the time I give notice, it's already late. Okay, so I guess this would be a good place for us to stop. So yeah, things are starting to get interesting. Serial killer. Rose being the first person to die. That's interesting, and that's the reason why, like I told you, she wasn't listed in this relationship. Who's Isabella? Oh, that's her. She wasn't listed in the friend relationship list, so I knew that she was gonna die first. So, and then each one of them actually has like a line here, so it's almost as if saying that you better have your relationship all the way up there, because something might happen. Well, yeah, it's pretty entertaining. Reading for 2 hours actually, it doesn't feel so bad. I mean, the story is entertaining enough. Nothing really scary happened though this session. Well, that was more creepy than scary. The ghost appearing while she was out there looking at a window of a shop. But yeah, I think they're still building up the story, I think, before things started to get super crazy. So, but yeah, this is good. The less tense it is, the better it is for me. But yeah, I enjoy this game. It's pretty good. So yeah, we'll continue tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thanks for being here, Leon. Enjoy your Series S. Enjoy all the games that you're getting from the what's it called? Xbox membership. And I will talk to you later. Bye bye. Hey, did it not appropriately switch to the proper scene? Hold on. That's weird. There's something. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, because it's all the way over there. Okay. There we go.